Hey everyone. So I was talking to a Mandela person, and they wanted to know what I do in terms of meditation. So I was thinking that maybe it'd be useful to share that with everybody. Uh, this is mine. It comes from my heart. It comes from me. But I think it could be useful for you too. So hopefully it is. and let's give it a roll. Let's get let's get a little bit of soft music in the background. That's it. Let me just share screen. There we go. As you can see, this is called The Old Tree, which is just the right vibes for what we're going for here. There we go. Let's just make sure that the levels are up enough that you can hear, but that it's not drowning out my voice as we speak about these different things. So, let's go into it. First of all, if you can be barefoot, that's awesome for grounding and for really being yourself. If you can find a position where you're nice and comfortable, it doesn't have to be cross-legged like this. It can be anything you want as long as you feel nice and comfy. If you can be in a garden, all the better. Plants are an expression of the heart, so it's really good for your heart. I want to say mirror neuron wise, but the heart doesn't really use mirror neurons, but it's the same idea. These are the reflections that are really good and natural to have around you when you want to get away from the plastic and the mind control and just the nonsense. Just let it all slip away. Take a minute. And now, if any of you were swimmers in the past or runners, you have a body memory of breathing very deeply when you're doing sports, when you're doing all kinds of physical activity that called for it. So if you can, think back to that time, or if not, don't worry. All you need to do is breathe, and every time you breathe, go a little deeper until you're breathing from the very base of your spine. If you can breathe from the very bottom of your body, then you are in the right space to go forward into the next part. So there are two parts to this meditation visualization, and let's go into the first part. The first part is get yourself nice and comfy. You've been breathing for a while, feeling so good, no one's disturbing you, everything feels amazing. Just sigh and start to have your awareness towards your back, the back of your head, the back of your legs, the bottom of your feet, up the spine. Feel all your conscious awareness at your back. What I want you to do is visualize your body behind you, but one scale larger. I know that seems odd at first, but if you can, visualize a larger version of yourself that is right behind and a little bit below your current perceived body. One other way that can help you a little bit is to put a lot of conscious awareness into your ears, where your ears are. If it's hard to feel the back of your head, start by feeling the front of your face. You should be able to feel that. And then just keep your conscious awareness going until you feel your ears and you put all your focus on your ears. If this is confusing to you, just think about a time where you've hurt your hand, for example, and all of your conscious awareness goes to where the pain is, to where you've just injured yourself. So even though it seems counterintuitive, maybe to help you kind of understand what I'm saying, Think of the last time that you had an injury in a specific body part and how all your focus went to there. That's what you're doing. You're taking that exact thing, but you're using it in a positive way. Something that's maybe a little bit less, something that's more in the subtle energies would be like, say maybe you touch something dirty, you were bringing out the garbage, and you're keeping your hand separate from, your nice white linens or whatever until you can wash your hand. Just whatever it is that you can do to have your conscious awareness not be just stuck in your head or stuck in, wherever it is that you always keep your conscious awareness in your body. You're trying to shift that around a little bit so that you can become aware of the whole thing that's going on here, because you extend so much further than your body. But the stresses, the things you face every day, they push you in to certain parts of your body where you feel comfortable until you start to believe that that's the only place you exist. It's not true. And we're going to undo that today. So, once you get really connected into the larger version of yourself, if you can really start to feel that, you will notice your vision changes. It feels as if you are now, instead of being pushed into the front of your face all the time by energy, you're actually operating from in between where your ears are. And this causes you to be able to see your peripheral vision and your median, your middle third eye vision, all at the same time. You'll notice that the blind spots, where you can see the least, are where your two eyes are. The explanation for this, everyone tells us, oh, you see with your eyes, you see with your eyes. We've convinced ourselves of that. These are flesh, these are organs, these are not energy. They don't feel and see. They're animated by you being inside of them. What is purely you, really you, is your vision from your third eye in front and your peripherals at the side. And if you can join by just putting your conscious awareness into it, your peripheral vision, your field of awareness of your ears, your eye on front, and if you think about the movie The Matrix, where they had the little plugs on the back of the head, if you can hold those parts of consciousness at the same time, not in a stressed out way, but just literally being inside of all of these parts, to just be aware of them. It seems like it's so much, but that's the only goal that we're doing here, is just that you're aware of it. And the more you're consciously aware of it, the more that you are the bubble of energy that surrounds this body, that animates it. You are not the body. That's the trick here. That's why you think you have limitation, because you think you are the body, but you extend beyond the body. You can, if you get enough conscious awareness into the air around the body, you can feel something come into that space without it ever touching the body, because this is you, not this. And we're bringing the awareness into that. Once you can bring your awareness truly into the different parts of your mind, of your heart, of your feet, your abdomen, your vision will start to change. And like I was saying, it will be almost like the 360 camera videos, if you've ever seen those on YouTube, where it starts to get very long and narrow. You'll start to see more like that it starts, you can see very clearly that your vision goes all the way around where your ears are. And eventually, once you start to let go of the obsession of believing we are the body, you'll be able to see further than your ears. You'll be able to start seeing out of the back. Why? Because you already do. You just have that eye shut because you've forgotten that it's even there. Once you get really comfortable with understanding the conscious awareness being in these several different positions at the same time, and it starts to just meld into one thing because we can't juggle too many things consciously. It uses up a lot of energy and effort. So that's why we're only looking for awareness. You're not trying to do anything, you're not trying to win any races, you're not trying to win any arguments, you're not trying to do any of those stressful things. You are just being within your being. And that's why all these things come in every day to try and distract you. Because as soon as you are within your being, as soon as you are fully conscious aware in your own being, you have won. You've won the whole game as soon as you know who you are. That's how simple it is. Now let's go to part 2. Okay, so I'm sitting in the center of my mind. For those of you that can visit the astral realm, that's where you're looking from, is that center vision, which is way back here. It's in line with where the eyes are, but it's much further back in the head. Okay, now that we're comfortable with part 1, or we've broached part 1, part 2. Visualize that you are sitting in a beautiful orchard. Doing this, by the way, helps encourage hemispheric sync. So if you're comfortable doing this will help you. Visualize that you're sitting in a beautiful orchard, and approximately 5 feet in front of you, there's a cherry blossom tree. And this cherry blossom tree, its branches are like a weeping willow. They just kind of droop. They reach up towards the sky like a crown, and they just droop, and they overlap. They spread. They reach really far. At the exact same time, you have another cherry blossom tree 5 feet behind you, and it also has branches like a weeping willow. What I want you to do is just sit there and just feel, eyes closed perhaps if it's easier, feel the tree in front of you, feel the distance, feel your own body, you feel the ground underneath your body, and try to feel or imagine how it feels to be the ground between yourself and the tree. Try to imagine what it feels like to be the tree. Try to put your conscious awareness all the way from you, through the ground, into the tree, and through all of its branches as they hang and as they reach in many directions that encompass not just in front of you, but these trees are so great and spread branches out so far that the tree on front, its branches overlap on the weeping willow type branches of the tree behind you. You're not in any kind of rush. You're feeling so relaxed that you're almost dozing off. You're just like, I could sleep so much right now. Get into that space, and just that space right before you fall asleep, your conscious awareness dilates, and it should be much easier to feel the air, the earth, the 2 trees, and your own body. When you really, really connect to this, not by effort and but actually the opposite, by almost letting go, almost falling asleep, because everything is just so chill in this garden. There's nothing annoying, and it just feels so good to be here. Connect to those 2 trees simultaneously, and like I said, the air around you, and if your consciousness spreads further, if you feel the entire sky, if you feel the evening sunset, if you feel whatever the limitations are, say it's a dome, if you feel the dome, feel it. If it's outer space, if it's the moon, let yourself spread out as much and as far as you do. There's no danger. You're not going to dissipate. You're not going to get lost because you're barefoot and grounded right where you are. You can wiggle your toes and that will draw you right back into your body if you get afraid. Now, if you have reached that level of connection, it means that your consciousness is running fast enough that you can be present and aware and thereby fully consciously operating the center of the mind and all of the waterways, veins, arteries, everything that is in the front and also in the back of your mind and where they overlap at the ears. This is teaching you to go from being the tiny little spark in the human spine that you began as in your journey to being large enough to effortlessly power this entire amazing advanced technology that we call the human body. It is literally perfect, even with all of the fluoride, all of the everything. You will find that there's nothing but a little bit of disuse. That you will find as you go deeper into yourself that everything is actually in perfect condition. The only thing you need is awareness of it, being able to feel that again. There's a reason why there's a term in the 3D human world called numbskull. People think, oh, that has something to do with stupidness. That has nothing to do with stupidness. It has everything to do with conscious awareness. If you've retreated from your nerve endings for so long that you don't even feel them anymore, that's when you get to a point that you can't even feel your scalp or your skull. That's what the true meaning of numbskull is. And all we're doing is reversing that process. And it's very easy. If you want like a super simplified idea of what I'm talking about, take your hand and give it a slap. And not only will that immediately draw all of your attention into your hand, but you will also have the conscious awareness of the resonant frequency of where the slap was. He's like, what do you mean? It's not just the ping of the nerve endings inside. When something hits you, there's an energetic repulsion that is outside of your skin too. You're just trying to get the conscious awareness of inside and outside at the same time so that you can do both. Because you have to be aware of both your obvious self, this body, and your subtle self, the real you, which is the bubble that surrounds this body that animates it. So I'm hoping that these practices are helpful for you, because they're definitely helpful for me. And I hope that it brings you peace, and that maybe it brings you more awareness of your body, of the amazing faculties that you have. These are just gifts that need to be unwrapped. They're already yours. All of these wonderful things that will help promote more awareness, more emotional awareness, will help promote healing in the body, will help promote a stronger immune system. Knowing yourself, taking the time to feel relaxation, distilled water, oh my gosh, distilled water, so important. Give yourself some love, give yourself some distilled water. If you can, hold a bottle and feel some love, and then drink it. We know from the rice experiments how important this can be, and how positive of a difference it can be. when rehydrating the brain, trying to get the brain back up and kicking, normal water doesn't do it. It has the wrong charge. It has a positive charge. You need a negative charge. You need distilled water or anything along those lines that gives you that negative charge to be able to really hydrate and clear out the sinuses and hydrate the mind, because you're trying to dust off any fluoride or any mess that's in there, which, like I said, even though it seems like, oh goodness, such a challenge, when you actually get into a state of conscious awareness, you will find that everything is in perfect order and just waiting for you to realize that you already have it. Thank you for your time. I'll see you again.